Suspected bandits attacked Gidangoga village in Maradu local government area, killed 4 people and injured 3 others. CBN releases framework for 75 billion naira youth investment fund. Rivers State Commissioner of Police asks IPOB to relocate or be treated like terrorists on business. Nigeria imported 2.78 trillion naira manufactured goods in 3 months. And on the international scene, Svtv braces for civil unrest in the U.S. Hello and welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Onyoza. The Zamfara State Police Command has confirmed the killing of 4 people in an attack by suspected armed bandits at Gidangoga village of Maradu local government area. The attack on the village occurred on 29 October 2020 at about 1400 hours. On receiving the report, Joint Police Military Unit from Kaura Namoda area, led by the DPO Kaura and other combined team of conventional policemen, 78 Mobile Police Squadron in Maradu led by DPO Maradu, responded to the distress call and arrived at the village to counter the bandit and to forestall further attack on the neighboring villages. For more on the story, over now to Rahama Ibrahim.
The bandits fled before the arrival of the joint security operatives. 4 people were killed by the bandits while 3 others were injured. The victims are now responding to treatments at Federal Medical Center Gusau. Security of the area has been beefed up with improved patrol by the joint operations to build the confidence of the community. The Commissioner of Police, CP Usman Nagogo, condoles the family, the government and the good people of Zamfara State for the unwarranted killing and promised that the command will not relent in its efforts to ensure the protection of life and property of the citizens. He, however, ordered for a discreet investigation to unravel the circumstances of the attack. Rahma Ibrahim Dusara reporting for Standard Voice Television.
The Save the Children International has donated COVID-19 personal protection equipment to Zamfara State government, civil society organizations, and the media as part of its effort to complement government efforts in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic in the state. Presenting the items to the beneficiaries in Gusau, the Save the Children International State Advocacy and Communications Officer Malam Nura Mohammed Abdullahi said the donation was part of the commitment by the Save the Children International to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in the state. For more on the story, Hawa Muhammad reports.
He said the items were donated to the State Technical Working Group on Social Protection, COVID-19 Palliative Distribution and Monitoring Committee, and the Zamfara Social Protection Platform. The advocacy officer said 10 packages of face masks, 62 pieces of hand sanitizers and 62 packages liquid soap was donated to the Technical Working Group. Mala Abdullahi added that State Government's Palliative Distribution and Monitoring Committee received 37 packages of face masks, 10 pieces of infrared thermometer, 510 pieces of hand sanitizers, 55 packages of hand gloves, and 506 pieces of liquid soap. He said Zamfara State Protection Platform, an NGO which comprised media practitioners and civil society organizations, received 6 packages of face masks, 81 pieces of hand sanitizers, and 81 pieces of liquid soap, among others. Responding on behalf of the beneficiaries, the chairman, Zamfara Social Protection Platform, commended the efforts of the Save the Children International and promised judicious distribution and utilization of the items. Hawa Muhammad reporting for SVTV News.
A university across the shores of Nigeria, the African Institute of Science, Administration and Commercial Studies situated in Lome, Republic of Togo, has identified and recognized the exemplary leadership style and quality of Governor Bello Mohamed Matawale Maradun, leading to the conferment of honorary doctorate degree on him. The university, which was established as far back as 1986, and specially recognized by the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, which is the body that approves and ranks universities all over the world, also said it identified with the Zamfara governor's passion, commitment, and great enthusiasm in providing strategic leadership and selfless service to the people of the state and the Nigerian nation in general, which earned him the award of honorary doctorate degree in leadership and administration. The institution's governing council, which transmitted this goodwill through its registrar, Mr. Jane Herman Mensah, noted that the governor's efforts have contributed immensely to the development of all sectors of human endeavor, including several corporate organizations and overall development of the human society. The university, which provides training in business, science and technology to many local and foreign students, especially from Central African Republic, Mali, Gabon, Benin, Burkina Faso, and Nigeria, is built to formally confer the award on the governor at the Police de Congress Lome, Togo Republic, on Saturday, the 31st October 2020. The wife of Kebbi State Governor Dr. Zainab Bagudu says the successful fight against polio would not have been possible without the effective contribution of traditional institutions. Dr. Zainab Bagudu made the disclosure on Wednesday in Arugungu at the celebration of the World Polio Day. The First Lady, who doubles as a medical doctor, said she is happy about the wise counsel by traditional rulers in Kebbi State and other parts of the Federation on the best strategy towards ensuring full coverage of all communities in the polio immunization exercise. According to a press statement signed by Yahya, Special Advisor to Kebbi State Governor on Media, the wife of the governor praised them for the individual contribution and collectively through the Northern Traditional Leaders Committee, adding that the National Polio Eradication Initiative appreciated vital functions played by traditional institutions. Dr. Zainab Bagudu commended the Emir of Arugungu, Alhaji Samaila Mohamed Mera, for his leadership, acclaimed internationally to countering misinformation, which helped to overcome boycott of the exercise. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has released guidelines for implementation of the proposed 75 billion naira Nigerian Youth Investment Fund. CBN, in a statement by its Development Finance Department, stated that the fund was a built-in strategy to effectively respond to the challenge of youth employment in Nigeria. The fund, an initiative of the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, is to be managed by National Microfinance Bank. It stated that the major objectives of the plan was to address the fragmentation of youth initiatives that prevent the assessment of impact. The Federal Executive Council on July 22 approved 75 billion naira for the establishment of the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund from 2020 to 2023. It will provide Nigerian youth with investment input required to build successful businesses that can become sustainable employers of labor and contributors to the country's development. Kano State Governor Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has appointed his sacked Commissioner for Work and Infrastructure, Engineer Maazu Magaji, as Chairman State Gas Pipeline Project Delivery and Gas Industrialization Committee. The letter of appointment was dated 29 October 2020 and signed by the Permanent Secretary, Research, Evaluation and Political Affairs Directorate, Office of the Secretary to the Kano State Government, Balkisu Shehu Meimota. It could be recalled that Engineer Maazu Magaji was sacked on 18 April due to statement he made on social media mocking late Chief of Staff to the President Malam Abba Kyari. The Rivers State Commissioner of Police Joseph Mukan has warned members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra to relocate from the state or risk being treated as terrorists. According to a statement signed by the spokesman for the command, Nnamdi Omone, the state police boss, gave the warning after meeting with divisional police officers and head of Department of the Tactical Unit in the command on Thursday. The CP also declared war against the miscreants which attacked and looted public and private properties as well as burned police stations with 3 policemen hacked to death in the Oibo local government area of the state. The commissioner gave officers of the command a marching order to deploy both intelligence and patrol teams across the command to ensure that looted items were recovered and the perpetrators arrested with immediate effect, noting that some of the suspects already arrested were being prosecuted. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has insisted that there is no going back on its position on the integrated payroll and personnel information system of the federal government. ASU President Professor Biodun Ogunyemi stressed that it was wrong to use the payment platform for university lecturers. He blamed this for the alleged irregularities in the payment of salaries and allowances of lecturers, stressing that some academics received very poor remuneration in some cases. The Don said during his appearance on Channels Television Politics Today, the issue of what they called amputated salary came into it because the IPPIS platform was not designed for the university system. So the platform does not recognize negotiated agreements like allowances on academic allowances, research journal, and other things. The ASU president stated that the IPPIS cannot work for the university system, especially in the area of taxation. President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday paid tribute to Governor Babagana Umara Zulum for his style of leadership in Borno State. President Buhari's commendation was delivered by Minister of State for Agriculture, Mustafa Baba Shehuri, while addressing Borno stakeholders at the multipurpose hall of the Government House in Maiduguri. The president specifically acknowledged the unique and selfless style of leadership stride the governor displayed in the distribution of COVID-19 palliatives, direct cash transfer, empowerment, construction of houses for the internally displaced persons, and their return to their respective places of origin with dignity. The president also commended the governor for vigorously pursuing the reconstruction, rehabilitation and resettlement of the livelihood of the IDPs, the construction of houses for civil servants, and rehabilitation of schools, the empowerment of 776 new teachers to join Borno secondary schools in 3 weeks. President Buhari also noted with satisfaction the ongoing civil service reforms, 23.5 million naira support for the bereaved families of 47 fallen soldiers killed by Boko Haram, the donation of 20 million naira and a house to the family of late Colonel Dahiru Shiroma Bako, and the provision of 65 million to 8,000 widows and other people in critical need as a result of Boko Haram's unholy activity in Ran or carried out by Governor Zulum. Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Kano State says the state government plans to synergize with the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps to train the proposed 30,000 personnel to establish Kano State Traffic Control Agency. Governor Aminu Bello Masari was speaking when he received the provost of the Civil Defense College, Kano State. The governor announced that the State House of Assembly had recently passed a bill for the establishment of the state agency for traffic control, stressing that youth to be recruited for the agency will be made to undergo training in the college along Batsari Road in Katsina Metropolis. Before the year runs out, Governor Aminu Masari promised that the Director General will be appointed for the agency Katrota to assist in controlling traffic and other minor security issues, adding that the collaboration with the college would help the staff of the new Katrota. He said that the state government already had over 30,000 personnel under its watch that would be trained and uniformed accordingly. The governor of Akure State, Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, has disclosed his determination to engage youth in Ekiti development and enhancement of the cultural tourism potentialities of Akure State. Dr. Fayemi, who made his disclosure while presenting and submitting the 2021 budget of Ekiti State to the Ekiti State House of Assembly on Press Day, said that his government would strategically stock the culture and tourism sector for the empowerment and employment of the youth in the state. He revealed that Ekiti State would make responsible giant strides in the tourism sector, not only as a sector for the generation of revenue, but essentially for the employment of thousands of youth in the state. Governor Fayemi said that Ekiti State would engage and empower the youth in purposeful tourism trade and skill acquisition for self-employment and vision actualization. President Muhammadu Buhari has commensurate with the former Director General of Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) and National Broadcasting Corporation (NBC) at different times Mohammed Ibrahim over the passing of his son Aminu Mohammed. Aminu Mohammed was reportedly stabbed to death by thieves who snatched phones from their victims in Kano State. In a message to the Victorian broadcaster released by President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, in Abuja on Thursday, President Buhari told Ibrahim, who is the Makaman regime, that he was pained by the sudden demise of his son. He said his thoughts are with him and the family during this hour of grief. May Almighty Allah give the family the fortitude to bear the loss. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back on Business. Samira Ibrahim has more detail.
Welcome to Standard Voice Television Business Updates. I am Samira Ibrahim. Nigeria imported manufactured goods worth 2.78 trillion naira, while total export component was 254.2 billion naira between April and June. According to figures obtained from the National Bureau of Statistics on foreign trade statistics for the second quarter, this amounted to a difference of 2.52 trillion naira in the period under review. According to the MBS, 757.99 billion naira, 885.98 billion naira and 1.14 trillion naira manufactured goods were imported in April, May and June respectively. It also revealed that 137.06 billion naira, 82.07 billion naira and 35.03 billion naira were exported in April, May and June respectively. The MBS stated that the value of manufactured goods trade in second quarter 2020 stood at 3.04 trillion naira. Out of this, the export component accounted for 254.2 billion naira. The products that drove up manufactured export were light vessels, fire floats, floating cranes exported to Spain in the value worth 129 billion naira. There were also export of vessels and other floating structures to Cameroon, 32.8 billion naira, Equatorial Guinea, 36.9 billion naira, and Singapore, 7.5 billion naira. Export trade on manufactured goods by region showed that goods were exported mainly to Europe, 137.1 billion naira, and within Africa, 96.98 billion naira. It stated, on the other hand, manufactured imports stood at 2.78 billion naira. The main drivers were used vehicles imported from United States at 116 billion naira, Netherlands 28.5 billion naira, and Brazil 24.7 billion naira. Other goods imported under this category were motorcycles from India at 66.6 billion naira and China 25.4 billion naira. During the quarter, the data revealed that herbicides worth 58.8 billion naira were imported from China, while machines for reception were also imported from China, amounting to 49.3 billion naira. And that's all on the business updates. I'm Samira Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.
And on the international scene, Facebook chief Mark Zuckerberg on Thursday warned of the potential for civil unrest as votes are tallied in a U.S. election that will be a test for the social network. Zuckerberg expressed his concern while describing safeguards against misinformation and voter suppression at the leading social network that are intended to avoid the kind of deception and abuse that played out 4 years ago. He expressed worries that with the nation so divided and election result potentially taking days or weeks to be finalized, there is a risk of civil unrest. Confusion earlier this week over political advert on Facebook marked the onset of what was supposed to be a cooling-off period ahead of the U.S. presidential election November 3rd. Rival parties complained that Facebook was undermining campaign effort after blunders arose around a ban on new paid political adverts being published in the week before Election Day. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Suspected bandits attacked Gidangoga village in Marado local government area, killed 4 people and injured 3 others. CBN releases framework for 75 billion naira youth investment fund. Rivers State Commissioner of Police asks IPOB to relocate or be treated like terrorists on business. Nigeria imported 2.78 trillion naira manufactured goods in 3 months. And on the international scene, Zuckerberg braces for civil unrest in the U.S. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garba. I still remain Musa Joy Onyola. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.